Okay. I think I'm here. Let's see this. I hope the chat is working, because I know it wasn't working last time. There we go. Chat does not seem to be working. That's strange. Okay, hold on. I had it working last night, which is crazy. Because of course it would mess up like right now as I'm trying to do things. And okay, chat. Do I have to open like the dashboard maybe? Hang on, I'm gonna figure this out. In the meantime, welcome in. Thank you for stopping by, everybody. This will give me a chance to like let everybody get in here while I fix whatever's going on here. Chat. How do I get the chat in the chat box? I made the chat box all pretty and everything. It has to work. Okay. Click here. Okay, there we go. There's the chat. You guys are here now. Let me like let the stream catch up real quick. How big is the delay here? Alright, it's good. As long as chat's here. Hello, welcome in everybody. It's been a long time since I've done a production stream. I was like checking my channel, at least on YouTube. The last time I've streamed a production stream was like last year in April. And we're approaching April again now in this year, so I'm like, it's almost been a year. Yeah, it's been a long time. Lots has happened. You know, I thought I would do a little production stream because I did miss my little deadline with episode 2 getting released, and you know, I just thought some transparency would be good to kind of talk about where I'm at, what my plans are, and how I'll go about everything. Before anybody asks, I don't know when it's releasing, so don't ask me, because I just don't know. I don't know, I'm sorry. You know, I'm working towards it, though. I am working on one of the hardest scenes in the episode, which has kind of, like, killed my motivation slightly. But, you know, I'm bouncing back. It's almost done. It's, like, it's so close, this little scene right here. But it's just like, it's so complex that it's taking a lot longer than, you know, the typical scene would. What animation app do I use? I use Fire Alpaca. I definitely need to get a tutorial out there someday. I want to do that this year. Like a Fire Alpaca animation tutorial, like an in-depth one. I think that'd be pretty good. Fight scene? It is pretty complex like that. I'll say it's a pretty action-packed sequence. I guess it could be a fight scene, not like super anime-esque, but it's very, very complex. It's one of the most complex things I've ever worked on in my entire like animation career. So, you know, okay, let me see. Gotta get to this shot right here. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of work on some shots, show you guys how my progress goes, talk about Atlas and all that fun, happy stuff. You tricked your parents into giving you a day off school for this stream? Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by. It's, I think it's worth, I don't know. I'll try my best to be as entertaining as possible for you guys. But yeah, you know, it is kind of, like, obvious that this episode is taking longer than the first one did. And it's like, I don't know. There's definitely been like a lot of factors in my personal life that has led to this taking so long, like completely out of my hands, completely out of my control. It's been a very rough year for me last year, and I'm still like picking up the pieces, trying to get myself back on track, because it was pretty crazy. It was very crazy. But you know, that's how life goes. You can't really account for things happening in life because that's just, you know, the way of life. You never know, it's very unexpected. Things can happen at any point in time. And you just gotta figure it out. The dangerous flora. Can I draw the dangerous flora? That's so long ago. I think I remember how they looked. They were like, for those who don't know, the Dangerous Flora were like from the like very first Atlas short that I did here. It was Goggles and a Shortcut. I think they had tongues. It was like bleh. A little bit of an inside mouth. And they had like these crazy leaf manes. I still got it. I'm pretty sure this is what they look like. It's been so long. I have not drawn these like outside of that short production, so it's something like this. And I think the little leaves act as arms sometimes, so I'll be like waving the little arms around. Yeah, nostalgia. Who remembers? You were joking, but yay. I take everything seriously, don't even worry. Okay. Atlas is doing like a little whisper in the ear in this little part right here. I'm like opening this scene like, when did I start keyframing this? Like, I want to say last month. So I'm trying to like remember like what I was going for here. I know what she's saying. I just need to get these movements. I think I'll line this one first because it's the end little movement here. But yeah, 2026 is going pretty well. A lot better than last year, I will say. Like a lot better compared to last year. I've been pretty productive, and you know, just I've been okay. I've been getting better, and I have many things planned for this year. Like, for example, I am working on a animation, like a little animated short of my other project, Jam, because I want to get that off the ground too. I want to get that I want to get the ball rolling there, basically. And I think it'd be a great way to kind of like softly start beginning to introduce my audience to my other projects, like, and stuff like that. Because it's not a super big project that I'm doing for it. It's like a little animated short. It's like 40 seconds. But it's like a good way to kind of show people like, this is what a pilot for this could potentially look like, you know? Let's kind of get the idea in people's minds, you know, early on. And it's good for me because I'm figuring out like what works with these characters and what doesn't, like shape-wise, because I'm still finalizing the designs a little bit. They're pretty good right now, but I'm trying to like really nail it down, like 100% finalizations there. You playing this in the background while animating too? Yes, I love doing that. Just like listening to people in the background. Whether it's like video essays or live streams, it is my favorite thing. It's like something about like the noise just keeps me, it keeps my mind going, basically. One of the really cool things about Jam though is, well, yeah, like in general I guess, is that I do want to experiment a little bit with like the animation, like the approach to the whole animation there. Like, you know how Atlas has like 2D backgrounds, they're all hand-drawn. With Jam, because it takes place in a very complex city, very complicated, very intricate designs there, I've been kind of trying to learn how to replicate a 2D-esque style in Blender in like 3D spaces. Because I feel like that would be a lot less time consuming in the long run. Because I am not about to draw cityscapes a billion times. You cannot make me do that. I refuse. I will literally learn an entire new medium before I start doing that. But it's like things like that. I just kind of want to experiment with it, because, I don't know, it's just like seeing what approach would work best for it. And it's fun, and I've been having a lot of fun. I am pretty sure that I'm going to be able to release this, like, this month, at the very least. It is, like, very easy to complete. I'm, like, getting closer to the end. But yeah, Atlas, I've kind of been talking about Jam a lot right now. I was actually like working on that before I started the stream, so I'm kind of like fresh in my mind there. But yeah, I do not know when a release date for episode 2 is going to be. I am sorry, I apologize for that. But the good news is that a lot of progress is being made on it. Like, for example, I am in the 20-minute mark. It's a total of 36 minutes, and that seems like a large gap, but it's not, because I promise you, once scene 4 gets out of the way, which is like the one that I'm working on right now, it'll be a breeze. I am so ready to get scene 4 out of the way. That is my struggle. It is so complex. And I also, like, back on the topic of 3D, I did utilize 3D for one of the shots in this scene, because that's how complex it is. I needed assistance from 3D, like a 3D view, to kind of understand how I wanted to go about the animation there. It's so crazy. It's crazy. I'm very proud of it, though. It's so complicated and tedious and hard, but it's going to look fantastic when it's actually done. And, you know, that's why I'm putting myself through so much pain and suffering with that scene, because it's gonna look awesome. What program am I using? Fire Alpaca. This is my animation program, basically. Sorry, I'm bad at looking at the chat. I've been yapping a lot. Let me see what you guys have to say. Use Blender for your backgrounds too. There's a handy line art setting that will outline the edges too, and that makes it look more 2D. I have, like, been playing around with that. I think it's like you do, like, the subdivision stuff, and you can change the width of the outline. I know there is the grease pencil too. I'm not sure if that's just for 2D animation purposes, or if you can, like, actually get some lines going on your textures. It's very cool to figure out, because I have dabbled in 3D many times in my life, many times in my artistic career. Like, I'm not super duper new to this, but I am kind of a newbie when it comes to, like, figuring out and understanding, like, you know, what I want to do and how to do it. I know how to do some things, I don't know how to do everything yet. But it's very fun to learn. I don't know, I'm just kind of, like, very optimistic and happy about learning that stuff. You can draw on 3D objects with the grease pencil. Nice, that is very nice to know. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to go about the whole 2D-ness, because I don't know, it's gonna look 3D no matter what, and there's nothing I can really change about that, but I think it would be fine if I can just stylize it in a way that just, like, fits within the world. Like, it's not gonna be super jarring. Like, it's not gonna be, like, a super realistic rendered background compared to 2D animation, which isn't even that bad. Like, there's so many projects that can pull that off, and it just all depends on the style and the way you pull it off, I guess. I don't know. Did I have any inspirations for my show? Yes, for Atlas in specific, I was very inspired by No Man's Sky, which is a game that came out in, like, 2016, and it's all about space, and I fell in love with how they did the aesthetics and, like, visuals and alien designs of that game. It just inspired me so much, and the music too. Like, there's a lot of inspiration from the No Man's Sky soundtrack that was put into, like, the Atlas soundtrack. There's just so many little things, you know. Yeah. No Man's Sky, I know Doctor Who kind of played a little bit into that, because that's what I was into at the time of, like, creation. It's not, like, super duper Doctor Who inspired, but that's another one that was in there. White Lies, the band, is another one that I'm, like, so, like, I pull so much inspiration from White Lies. It's, like, insane. Like, the Big TV album in specific is what really gets me, because it's, like, so cinematic, and it just, it's like it's music, so you can't really see music, but when I listen to White Lies, I can, like, visualize a lot of the aesthetics that I wanted for Atlas, so that is another huge inspiration for the show, honestly. I've done multiple animations in the past to White Lies musics. They're on my channel still, actually, to this day. But, yeah. No Man's Sky, White Lies, a little bit of Doctor Who. I feel like I'm missing one, because I'm, like, trying to remember on the spot. What is, there's definitely, like, a third one. Maybe small, maybe big, I don't know, it'll come to me later. At the end of the stream, it'll come to me, and I'll remember. I'll be like, oh wait, it was that. How did I make the soundtrack by myself? Do I have any music experience before? So I I didn't have any music, well, that much music experience prior to Atlas episode 1. I did dabble with, like, you know, little apps and stuff, and I did make the song in the Atlas Goggles and a Shortcut thing in the past. It wasn't anything, like, super duper fancy, but, like, you know, that's just kind of my exposure to it. But really, when I, like, locked into it was with episode 1. And I don't remember what really made me go, yeah, I want to do this on my own. I don't really want to get anybody for this. Like, I don't know. Music is, like, a very good outlet for me. I've kind of always wanted to understand how to do it. And I guess episode 1 was, like, the perfect opportunity for me to kind of just, like, go full force on it, you know? Like, step in the water. Like, just try it out. And I had a lot of fun with it. I really like music. I really want to understand it more and experiment with it more. Even outside of Atlas, I want to do more music things, but that's kind of my first, like, full official soundtrack that I've ever made was for Atlas episode 1. And it taught me so much. Like, I've learned so much from just doing that little soundtrack that I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm on a good path to that. I use FL Studio for my music, by the way, just throwing it out there. It's a very, very good program. And not super costly either. Like, for the free trial, for example, it's like infinite. It's an infinite free trial, and you can literally save your files and everything. You just cannot access your files after you save them and close the program. Which is a fair trade for, like, an infinite free trial. You can access every single plugin, every single thing that the program has to offer. And, you know, that's what I did at first. Like, one of the first songs that I kind of started making was Atmosphere's theme. And it was during the free trial that I was doing that. And I liked it so much, like, the whole program. I was like, I'm just gonna buy this. I'm just gonna buy this program. Yeah, and that's kind of where it began. That's literally the first song that I had made for the soundtrack was Atmosphere's theme. And that's the first, like, full song that I had made in FL. It was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. How long will episode 2 be? It is going to be 36 minutes long, maybe 20 or 27, 37. I don't know. It kind of depends on pacing right there. But for sure, 36. It is longer than episode 1 was, which wasn't super intentional, but, like, kind of crazy. That's also why the episode has been taking a little longer than episode 1 did, because it's literally just a longer episode. It has more characters, it has more action sequences and stuff like that. It's a lot more complex. And, you know, that's a big contributor into why it's, like, kind of been taking a little while longer. Are there any scenes you animate then cut, like deleted scenes that make it past the storyboard phase? I very much try not to do that. I don't believe I've ever run into that where I've had, like, a full animation that I've cut from the episode. Because at the storyboard part of the episode, I kind of already know what I can cut from the storyboard and what can stay and what can change. But anything past that is very it's very solidified. It's changing that past the storyboard phase is, like, that is not something that I want to ever do because of how much time would be lost. Like, I'm only one person, and, you know, deleting work like that, yeah, I don't know. I really don't want to ever do that. So I try to, like, tackle that all in the storyboard phase. There has been dialogue cuts that didn't make it through, that did slip past the storyboard phase, like, little lines, not anything super important, but I was just like, you know, now that I kind of listened to this in full, it's not gonna fit with the pacing well, so this line will probably just not make it in. I'll just kind of cut that. Like, I know, for example, in the recent clip that I released, where, Atlas is like, and then Atmosphere is kind of like, you know, what about you? I I remember, I think Atmosphere said a few lines after that, but I ended up, like, cutting them just to keep him silent, because, like, I don't know, less is better sometimes, you know? Not everything needs to have a lot of dialogue, and I think it just benefited a lot right there. But things like that, that is stuff I am okay with cutting. Animation, no, I would cry. Are those birds in the background? They are! That's my little budgies, Comet and Lunas. They are chirping away. I'm gonna take a little water break. Hold on, let me sip. Yep, they're budgies. I do like cockatiels though. I've never owned one, but they are very cute. I like their little head feathers. They're very silly. Okay, let me see how this animation is looking so far. I don't have the uh-oh, I just opened something on my computer. What was that? I don't have the little autoplay thing, so you guys can't actually see the animation. Just because if I need to open files and things, I don't really want that to be on the screen. I don't want to accidentally spoiler leak anything, you know? Okay. You guys will just have to guess right here how the movement's going. Oh my gosh, yes, I love birds so much. They are my favorite. Literally, like, the way to earn my friendship, basically, I tell people, is like, just send me bird videos. it's literally how it works. I will be so happy. I just accidentally made a new folder for this. This didn't need to, oops, be there. There we go. What's this music from? It is from the Slime Rancher soundtrack. Oh, that's another one. Slime Rancher, at least visually, had a little inspiration over episode 2. Like, I remember specifically playing the second game to kind of get some inspiration there for, like, the visuals and stuff, because it's very pretty and kind of in line with what I'm trying to do. So, not for, like, the series as a whole, though, I will say that. But a very pretty game, and I do like the soundtrack. Is there any reason why characters are named after naturally occurring phenomena, such as Atlas, Atmosphere, Nebula, etc.? Well, the whole space motif, I wanted to kind of keep with the names. I don't know, I just thought it was, like, a silly thing to do. Just kind of have everybody named after space-related things, whether it's, like, events or just, like, names in general. Everybody in the series is named after something related to space. That's just the rule. There's nothing, like, super duper lore important there in terms of, like, you know, this character was named this because of something something so and so. No, it's just kind of like fit their character. I don't know, just stuff like that. In universe rules, I'm kind of having that in my other show too, where they're kind of named after things that relate to them, like slightly. It's a little looser there, but Atlas, the rule is everybody's got to be named after space things. Snowball, my favorite planet. Snowball is an exception. The little pets in the series, they get a pass. They get to be named silly things. If you think about it, if you really think about it, there could be snowballs in space. Because, like, a snow planet, and then there's snowballs on the planet. Much to think, much to ponder. I had an argument with my friend if you voiced Atlas and they were certain you did for some reason. I do not voice any of the characters. Or background characters. I don't do any of the voice acting. I've had that question, like, a lot recently. Like, I know I kind of, like, pry into, like, yeah, I do a lot of things. I do almost everything on this project, but voice acting is just not one of them that I do. I'm not a voice actor. I have zero training. I don't know if that's even something that I'd really be interested in pursuing ever. I mean, like, I love voice actors, don't get me wrong. I have so much respect for voice actors. I don't know how they do it. But, yeah, just let it be known that voice acting is not the thing that I handle here. Go show copious amounts of love to the actual voice cast because they are incredible and a pleasure to work with. I love them all so much. They do so much justice for these characters, it's crazy. I did actually upgrade my microphone recently though, just for like streaming and like recording and stuff like that. Because I do like little narrations sometimes for my videos. But other than that, yeah. Have I ever watched Monkey Wrench? No, but I do want to get into that eventually. I've been slowly chipping away at indie pilots that I want to watch. Because the thing is like, I want to watch them when I have my full attention on these, like, on the video. Because usually the videos that I watch on YouTube are when I'm working. Like, I have it on the side. I'm not fully paying attention, and it's like, no, I want to dedicate my full attention to these. So it does take me a little longer to get around to some indie pilots, but I do want to watch a load more. I have like a list going. I know I recently just watched I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl, and I love that little show so much. It is so cool. I really like the animatic approach there. It's definitely groundbreaking for indie, I'd say, because of like the way it approached the animation and stuff like that. And it got picked up by a studio, so it works. It's a successful means of like getting pilots out there, and it's so much more like cost efficient too. It's just very nice to see these new approaches to like indie pilots and things like that. And I think it'll only keep getting better and better as people keep experimenting and stuff like that. I don't know. How did I find voice actors for my series? So basically I did a bunch of casting calls. There was like a few exceptions because I did have people like reach out to me with their reels and stuff, and I was like, I like this, I'll keep you in mind, and then I ended up reaching out again later. So they were kind of like privately cast, but for most of the characters it was public auditions where I posted casting calls and a bunch of people would audition. Like I got a crazy amount of auditions that I had to listen to. It was like 500 or something, I want to say. It was it was very fun though, and I listened to every single one. And it was so hard to like narrow it down to the final choices, but yeah. That's kind of how I found my voice cast, just auditions and stuff like that. There are different ways that you can go about getting voice actors for your show. Like you can literally just reach out to the voice actor, you can reach out to their agents. You just have to be very transparent about whether your project is paid, how much they're going to be recording, like, you know, stuff like that. Just be very upfront about your pitch and everything behind the project. And you'll be good to go. Worst they can say is no. How many episodes would I want to make of Atlas and the Stars if I know yet? I do know. I have a planned total of 8 episodes. And currently we are on episode 2. I'm very excited for episode 3, I will say that. I will mention that at any chance I get because I love that episode so much. It is genuinely one of the best things I've written so far. I love episode 3 so much. You guys are not ready. I love how you draw expressions. Well, thank you. I love being expressive with the characters, especially like Nebula and stuff like that. I have a thing that I want to animate of her today. She's just like running off. She's so mad all the time, so I get to really have fun with those expressions there. I should probably get into like more of my plans for this year because I have much to yap about. I'm trying to get back into this whole flow of things and what I have and haven't said publicly yet. Trying to remember and stuff like that. Number 1, my goal is to obviously get episode 2 out there. I know it's taken a long time, but there is no way that it cannot be finished this year. There's no way. It's too close to being done to not be able to be finished up like within this year. So that is a good thing. That is for sure. That's for certain. Like the previous years, I know even in like 2024, when I first started working on it, I was kind of like, maybe I could get this done by the end of the year. No, wrong. I did not get it done. And then 2025, I was like, oh, this is gonna get done by the end of the year. It did not get done. But for sure, it will absolutely get done. I am like literally, yeah, I'm 20 minutes into the animation. There's like 36 total. And once scene 4 is out of the way, I will have so much less stress, basically. And scene 4 is almost done. Like, let me pull up my little board here. You guys aren't gonna be able to see it though, because I don't want to leak anything. So with scene 4, there's 5 sequences. Like, it's a scene, it's split up into 5 sequences. It's a total of 9 minutes long, which is the longest scene that's been in any Alice episode. But sequence 5 is completely and fully rendered. That's out of the way. Sequence 3 is fully animated. It is not composited yet, which means like the background's making it all pretty. So it's not rendered, but the animation is like fully complete there. So I don't have to worry about sequence 3 or 5. Sequence 4 is the next one that's almost done, but like it's the most complex one out of everything, so you know, who knows really. So I've kind of like skipped forward from sequence 4 just because of how difficult it was, and I'm back to like sequence 2 and 1, which are very, very easy compared to those other ones, but it's kind of where I'm at. Sequence 2, the keyframes are almost all fully complete. I'll be done with these like maybe within the week, depending on how things go. Sequence 1, I haven't really started the animation there, but it's a very short sequence. It's only like 19 shots. The longest amount of, the biggest amount of keyframes I had in a sequence was like 38 in sequence 4, so that's like kind of how you can compare those two. Sequence 1 is very simple too, so I'm not really worried about that one. But yeah, once sequence 4 is out of the way, it'll be much better. And with scene 5 and scene 6, those are the 2 scenes I have left. And scene 5, I already have like 2 sequences already fully rendered and animated. I do not have to worry about them. I only have to worry about 1 sequence left in scene 5. I'm like getting lost in these numbers here a little bit. I'm trying to remember, like, oh my gosh, scene 4, sequence 5, sequence this, sequence that. It's a lot of numbers, but it makes sense, I promise. I definitely need to get into my, like, organization process one of these days. I plan to make a making of Atlas video one of these days. Definitely this year, probably. I want to make something like that, where I will go into depth about, like, my whole process, my organization, how I did everything. It'll be very helpful, I think. Yeah, episode 2 will be, like, fully complete this year. There is no way that it cannot be. It's genuinely too close to being done to, like, not be able to release this year. I do not have any doubts that this will not be finished this year. Unless some, like, crazy life-altering event occurs where I am unable to finish the episode. Which is very, very rare, hopefully. Like, I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything, but just know that it's like, it is gonna get done this year. When? I don't know. I am kind of done with estimates right now. I feel like it puts too much pressure on me to the point where I just kind of want to stop, which is not good. I used to be really good about that stuff, and that stuff used to help me, but it's kind of like been not so great now. I don't know why. I gotta figure that out. Gotta figure out like a new method of like keeping myself on track that way. I'll figure it out though. Right now I'm just kind of like going with the flow, doing what I can when I can work on the episode, you know. Just progress is like my motto. Even if it's like a small amount of progress, it's still contributing to the whole thing. No, I don't want to lose my hand, please. Will there be any Quasar in episode 2? Yes, he is in episode 2. Though he's not as big of a spotlight in this episode that's kind of being handed over to the other characters, I will say that. But he is still present. He's very, you know, he does have important roles in this episode. He's just kind of like a little pushed to the side slightly this episode, just so the other characters can, like, you know, have their moments. Taking a little water break, hold on. I'm back. How did I find my art style for Atlas in the Stars? That is a good question. I guess it was just like a whole, like, trial and error thing. Over the years, my style has just been developing and developing, and eventually, like, I kind of found something that I really liked and was consistent and animation friendly. I don't know if you guys all remember what my art style used to look like prior to, like, a bunch of the Atlas stuff, but it was very, like, round and complex, and I was drawing, like, every single strand of hair on the characters' heads, which isn't really animation friendly. Like, look how fast I can draw her hair here, because it's literally just shapes. It is simple shapes, it is very animation friendly, and I guess that's kind of what helped shape my art style, is just animation friendly designs. Everything's very sharp now. I don't have to worry about anything being super duper complex. And I just kind of like, as the characters like kind of finalized, my art style did too. Even in episode 1, there's like a very slight difference in quality if you look at like the beginning of the episode to the end, because I was still finding my style, and it got sharper near the end. And looking at like episode 2 even, it is a little sharper, but it's been pretty consistent this entire episode. I think I've finally like fully found my style, which is good. I like keeping it consistent. But yeah, I'm very happy with my style. Like, I really like it. I think this is kind of what I've been searching for all these years of my art. Just this style. It's very me. It's very like easy to work with, you know, stuff like that. Curious question, why instead of working on a 30-minute episode that takes months, you work on a 10-minute episode and upload videos continuously? Well, 10-minute episodes would also take months, I do want to point that out, but I do get your point, like 30 minutes is a long time, and I've been like kind of questioning that too recently. For Atlas, it is a very ambitious first project. I will very much admit that. Like, I don't know. I had a vision for this thing, and I am rolling with it. The long episodes are just like kind of the vibe, and like I feel like I don't want to sacrifice the story with shorter episodes for Atlas, but with my other projects like Jam, they will absolutely be shorter and a lot easier to like kind of work with in that regard, especially because of like the 3D environments and stuff like that. I'm very much looking for like ways to improve upon that fact. It's just all trial and error, basically. I'm figuring things out as I go. I am kind of stubborn about like the runtimes for Atlas, so I have been considering cutting it down for the next episodes, but it's just like there's stuff I don't really want to sacrifice in the story there, you know? Maybe I could split it into more episodes, like shorter episodes, but more. But I don't know, that's just kind of things I'm thinking about. For now, I know that I want to get episode 2 out of the way and figure everything else out afterwards, because once I get this out of the way, it'll be a lot easier to kind of navigate those kind of thoughts. I forgot I gotta give her little eye shines right here. What resolution am I animating in the canvas size? I do 1920 by 1080, but my brush strokes are pretty pixelated. I'm wondering if I should expand it. So the way you want to like reduce pixelization in your brush, because I also work in 1920 or yeah 1920 by 1080. You want to change your DPI, which is in the settings when you're first making your canvas. If you raise the DPI, it just means that your brush is less pixelated. So definitely play around with those settings right there. Look for the DPI settings, kind of change it around. bring it up, see what happens. Because 1920 by 1080 is definitely like standard video size. Yes, Fire Packet is free. This version that I'm working on is not free, but it is relatively cheap. I'm only using it for the dark mode. That's literally it. It is a good investment if you are like using Fire Alpaca a lot, because I cannot, my eyes, as someone who like works very consistently on my projects and stuff like that, and like on the computer, I need to save my eyes, so that's kind of why I did that. So it is a good, decent investment, but Fire Alpaca is free. Like, it's the same exact program. There is little to no changes from the free to this one. It's just that this one simply has a dark mode. And I like my eyes. Any advice for art block? Yes, actually, I've been wanting to make like a little video on that actually, like recently, because I've just pulled myself out of a big art block, and you know, it's kind of hard because it very much depends on the person and like the situation and what you're working on, and you know, stuff like that. But for me, like recently, I was very burnt out, like on this episode, like with scene 4, for example, like that very complex sequence that I was working on. I just wasn't having it anymore. I would sit down to work and I would just like stare at the screen basically, because I was just like, I can't bring myself to work on this right now. I was like, maybe tomorrow will be better, and I sit down and I try to work on it. I get like aligned and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely burnt out on this little sequence right here, so what can I do about this? And my solution was to like go to a different part of the project and work on like an entirely different like category basically. Like with the sequence 4, I'm working on the keyframes there, which already I'm not the biggest fan of doing keyframes. I'm doing keyframes right here, right now, which is just all the basic poses before you start going in and animating the whole thing basically. All the key poses. But yeah, I was very burnt out on that. So instead of doing keyframes in a different scene, I started doing the coloring and lip sync in the different scene. So it was a different process. It was refreshing. It felt like something different, something new. It was a lot less complex. And I was able to like get a lot done because, you know, it's something new and it was something different. And it felt good to get a lot of progress done. So that kind of built my motivation up until I was ready to return back to keyframes. And I guess that's like a good way to get out of art block. Just literally skip to a different part of your project, even if it's like going to the music and doing stuff, or like going to a different part of the art process and doing something else. Maybe go back to writing, or like music, or character design, or background design, you know, just maybe just step back and go to a different part. But it's very interesting because it depends on the person. I know I've had my moments where I literally just can't do anything no matter how hard I try to get back into art, and when that happens, I think my best advice there is to literally just step back entirely from your project. Do something entirely different, maybe even if it's just like stuff unrelated to your work. Just step back, come back to it when you're ready, and it'll be much better for you, because you don't want to push yourself. You don't want to push yourself to like, or force yourself to work on your project, because that's gonna really do you in, you know? That's really gonna burn you out bad, and it might be to the point of like, I don't want to do this at all anymore, and that's not good. So whenever that happens, literally just completely step back. If you're just a little burnt out, maybe you feel that you could do something else in a different area, then go for that. How did I make the Atlas plushie? I love it. So she was a sample from a manufacturer that I got. I do not like the manufacturer, I can't lie. Atlas turned out okay, but Atmosphere was a completely different story. He is not a sellable product, basically, and they kind of got a little unprofessional with me at the end, so I only have the samples right now. Nothing ever got mass-produced, because I didn't want to go through with that. I wasn't getting good vibes, and you know, that's how I made her. Basically, she's a sample, but I do want to try again eventually. I don't know. I took a break from the whole plushie thing because that is a very hard thing to do solo, like on your own without like an investor or something, like a production company, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's just a kind of a difficult thing to navigate. I know Makeship and U2's is pretty good because they have the campaigns for people to do. And they, you know, they provide and they sell and they ship and fulfill all those orders themselves instead of the creator or whatever doing it themselves, which is what I would have to do. Because a lot of my stuff, like, not even like a lot of it, I literally mean all of it. All of my stuff is done like in my basement. Like, I'm shipping and like packing these orders all on my own. It's like, I don't know, it's not the most efficient, but it works for now, so that's future me's problem to figure out if it ever gets too big, you know? But yeah, I would love to make plushies one day. I don't know how to go about it, basically. I'll figure it out, though. How long will I stream today? How long have I been streaming for? Already almost an hour. I was planning on like 2 hours, but maybe I'll do 3 or 2.5. I don't know. It all depends. Are you doing all the animatic animation character designs, background, and coloring by yourself, or do you have a team? Yes, I'm doing all of that on my own. Basically, the only things that I don't do is the voice acting and the sound design now. I have a sound designer doing like the like all the audio, like the sound effects and stuff like that. I do handle the music on my own though. That is something that I still do. But I also have a script editor who kind of helps me polish my scripts up a little bit and catch errors or stuff like that. But I am still doing like a majority of everything. Like all the art that you see on screen basically is like me. It is still all done by me. Character designs, visual development, storyboards, all the animation, all the editing and compositing. And I mean, it sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but I'm having fun, despite everything, despite how tedious it can get. I don't know. I just don't really have the means to fund an entire animation department, you know? And it's a very, like, kind of hard thing to get into as well. It's not as easy as everybody thinks. Because there's so much, like, business and stuff that you need to know before you even consider getting into that. And it's just, like, the amount of money that I would need for a 30-minute project of animation is just not something that's within my cards right now. Unfortunately, it would be nice to have help. But, you know, because I cannot afford something like that, I'm just kind of doing everything that I cannot pay for right now. But I'm hoping that, you know, with time, maybe that becomes a bigger possibility. I would like to have, like, at least some help with, like, maybe coloring the frames. That would be a nice start if I were to branch out into a team, and I would like to do that for episodes going forward. I don't think I will be fully handling the animation completely alone, but that has been the case for episodes 1 and 2. I remember that. Yeah, you dodged a bullet with that menu. Yeah. They literally, like, told me, because I was trying to ask for changes on the atmosphere plushie, and... Oh! What was that? Wait, hold on. Oh, I got a follow on Twitch. Thank you for the follow over there. I don't know if you can see this because I'm on YouTube right now. I thought it was just YouTube events that was gonna give me the little notifications. But yes, thank you for the follow. Yeah, the manufacturer though. They literally straight up told me, because I was like asking for changes on the atmosphere plushie, because he, like, I am not exaggerating when I say that he is unsellable. That is an unsellable product. That looks nothing like Atmosphere or the, like, concept that I gave them. And they literally told me that we're too tired. We don't feel like doing that. I'm like, I paid you all this money for you to tell me that. Yeah, I'm not working with you again. Give me my little samples and I'll be on my way. I will find somebody else. Don't even worry about it. I definitely dodged a bullet. I do not play like that. No. Like, I can't even fathom that. That is so unprofessional. We are too tired to do any changes. We've done as many as we can. No. No, you haven't. I don't know. It was just a crazy situation, and that's just kind of the stuff you have to deal with sometimes. You gotta cut your losses. You will run into scammers and stuff like that. Eventually, at some point in your life. I don't know. It's like, whatever. I have my little samples. I do carry Atlas around a lot. I like taking her to conventions and stuff, so not all that bad. Looking on the bright side of things, she is okay, she is decent, but she could be better, you know what I mean? If I were to sell her in mass. And I want to have a good product for my audience, like, I'm not gonna- oh. I thought I got another follow. No, my stream's just delayed. But yeah, if I wouldn't buy it, then my audience isn't gonna buy it. And looking at that Atmosphere plush, I would not ever choose to willingly purchase that. So, you know. It is just very low quality. I've definitely posted him before. Can I get a picture of him on stream, actually? Because I think you guys just need to see him. Give me a second, give me a second. Where is Atmosphere? Okay. Well, I feel like this isn't even a good example. Let me see if it's on, my Discord files somewhere. Like, trust me, this is, not great. Being here? Oh, another follow on Twitch, thank you! I cannot find it. Oh no. Not here, not here. Maybe here? Not here. Dang, yeah. Just know. Take my word for it. He is not a sellable product. He had, like, yellow horns coming out the side of his face. His colors roll off. They forgot so many things. I had to tell them to put his ears and stuff on. I don't know. It's just crazy. Another dancing Atlas, yes. Following makes Atlas dance on the screen. At least Plushmosphere is good for reaction images. Indeed. He looks like a Muppet. He is my disgraceful son. On Twitch, when I stream over on Twitch, I use him for, like, padding redeems. Like, I'll pat the Atmosphere plush for people to, like, give their points to. It's silly. Yeah, we're too tired from a whole company. Oh my god, like I've never heard that before. I just never have, and that's the moment that I like completely gave up on that company. I was like, okay, all right. I don't know. That's like just kind of crazy. Another follow. Thank you for the follow, MackeyCraft8. Everybody's going to my Twitch. I wish I could turn the volume down. It's like kind of like deafening me a little bit there. But it's a small price to pay for Atlas to dance. Happy dancing Atlas. Thinking. I think I'm almost done with this shot. Once I get this one done. Am I? Yes, I am. Okay, the keyframes will be completely done for Atlas here. Then I gotta move on to Atmosphere. He's kind of a lot simpler here, though. Which is good. Hold on, what's happening in chat? Be nice, chat. Don't be mean to each other. For animation software, I use Fire Alpaca. I use it to animate everything in Atlas. I use it for art occasionally. A lot of my art pieces, though, like the more polished ones, are done on my iPad in Procreate. So that is a different one there. But for most things, it is usually just Fire Alpaca. But yeah, don't worry. I can't catch every question, but feel free to ask away. How far away are you in the writing of the story so far? I am, like, everything is completely outlined, like, it is all, like, solidified. I know every single thing that happens, every story beat, everything that needs to happen. It's just the individual scripts themselves are only written up to episode 3 and somewhat 4. But all of that stuff is finalized. Like, I'm totally done with that. It's just a matter of, like, writing out the, like, individual scripts there. How did I start animation? I began animating back in like 2014 because I was so inspired by like the Warrior Cats animators. Like they were literally my biggest inspiration to get into this. I would see those multi-animator projects and stuff like that, and I was just like, I want to do this too. These are people literally just animating on the computers. I feel like I could do this too, you know? I was already an artist at that point. I've been drawing for my entire life. Basically ever since I could pick up a crayon. So it was just a matter of learning how animation works and stuff like that. I literally just kept trying and getting better and better. You know, just practice is perfect, or practice makes perfect. Yeah, that's the phrase. You just gotta keep going until you get to a place that you're comfortable with. Don't be afraid to try. Your first attempts aren't gonna be like the most polished or super perfect thing, or maybe they are, I don't know. It just depends. But just, you know, keep learning, keep experimenting. It's all a part of learning. Have I ever considered using Clip Studio? I do have Clip Studio. I am not the biggest fan of it. I can't lie. I know it has an animation software. I don't know. I've been so used to Fire Alpaca my entire life. Like, this is the first animation program that I started with, and it is the animation program that I am still using to this day. So there is a very high level of comfortability, whatever. There's words there. I'm saying words. Like, I've even used Toon Boom and Animate, Adobe Animate, which like the whole recent stuff with Animate is kind of crazy. I would actually like to try Moho, which is a puppet rigging software, basically, I think. I do want to experiment with that if I'm able to. It is kind of pricey though, so I don't know if I want to commit to that yet. And I think I've already used up the free trial. I just didn't understand what was in front of me. And I kind of let the free trial run out. I don't know if I can get another one, because I would be on the same computer. But, I don't know. Maybe it'll go on sale again, because I did see it sell for like $25 this summer, and I almost bought it, and I should have. I'm so mad at myself for not buying it when it was $25. Why wouldn't I just buy it? That was so stupid. If you guys ever see a like $100, $1,000 program on sale for literally 2 digits, do not hesitate. Just buy it. Do not be me. I am so mad at myself for not buying it. I will never forgive. Yeah, it was $25, but it was a part of like a bundle with like other programs and games, I believe. They might do it again this summer. I've been hearing, maybe, but it was $25. It's for a permanent license, it is $400, which is very good for a whole program like that, like a perpetual license or something. Like, it's not a monthly subscription, it's literally just a flat payment of $400, which is like very, very good. And they're very anti AI and stuff like that, so that is like, it's trustworthy. I don't know. They seem very like interested in audience feedback and stuff like that, which It's kind of rare for programs anymore, I will say. They do generally want to have like a good program there, which I respect. You got a Moho 12 bundle for 25 euros a few days ago. Is that still active? I don't know. I might have to go looking. Like if I like it's the thing is I would not mind paying for like the whole like program itself if I just knew for a fact that I would use it, because that is a pretty big investment to make just to kind of try out a program, you know what I mean? And I'm just not entirely sure if puppet rigging is even going to be my thing. Because it would be nice to maybe, because I am trying to do like the same hand-drawn style for Jam, my other project, but it would be nice if I could nail down puppet rigging to kind of go in that direction. Puppet rigging in 3D backgrounds, I mean, I don't know. It might be the move, it might not be the move if I can't figure it out, but it's all about your experimentation. I do not have a Discord server. Well, actually I do, but it's very inactive. There is a Patreon section in it, but yeah, you can't really type or anything in there because I just don't feel like running a server anymore. Yeah, it's just too much work. I've posted it somewhere on my channels before if you want to go digging for it. But yeah, it's just used for announcements and stuff like that now. Okay, let me see. I think I'm done here. Although Atlas's head kind of gets a little big right here, so let me fix that. Wasn't your pilot mentioned in GlitchX? How did you get in contact with them for that to work? They did actually reach out to me for that. I did not reach out to them. I'm very like thankful for them doing that for like indie stuff. Like that was cool. That was very cool of them to do, to highlight all those projects and stuff like that. But I could not tell you how to get in contact with them because it was kind of like the other way around there. So I don't know. I don't know. Yes, shrink your head just slightly. Your head's getting a little too big there, Atlas. Right about there. There we go. Okay, atmosphere time. Or should I do a different shot? Should I do Nebula? Hang on, let me get that right there. Do I do this Nebula shot, or do I do atmosphere? I should do atmosphere because it's like the next thing in this shot that I just did with Atlas. Okay. Do I use timing charts? I am an animator. Do not ask me what time charts are. I have no idea. I genuinely just never learned how those things work. They scare me. I could not even begin to grasp how they work. I don't know if it's like but I don't even know. Like I know there's like two ways of animation. It's like pose to pose or straightforward. I do pose to pose, if that means anything. But I have not used timing charts. I probably should, but I don't know. I'm too scared. Do atmosphere. Okay, bet. I will animate atmosphere as fast as I can. Okay, wait. Get rid of these unnecessary frames that I only had for, like, animatic purposes. The goobers, these things are so silly. The chat auto-blocked your toe beans message. You must be silenced. Atmosphere would never have toe beans. It is law. I'm sorry. My pilot is gonna be more of an animatic storyboard, like pretty please I don't want a magical girl. That is like I was talking about this earlier in the stream, but it is like so exciting to see pilots like that. Kind of like it like I don't know. It's just really cool because everybody wants to like do this like whole very expensive budget, high budget pilot thing, but like having a pilot, like an animatic pilot out there that did very successful is gonna be like so much easier for like younger people that want to make pilots. I think they're not gonna put themselves in debt and stuff like that to make a pilot because it doesn't have to be super polished and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just very inspiring. I love that series show. You have nothing on me, Liv. I've never said toe beans once in my life. What video games do I like? I am a very avid Animal Jam player. I played it so much in my childhood and still to this day, I'm 22 years old. I am still playing Animal Jam. It's just, I don't know, I love Animal Jam. It's because they have like an art program in there. I can draw things of my characters and put it in my den. I have so much Atlas art in there. I'm building an Atlas museum in Animal Jam in my den. It is looking very nice so far. Yes, everybody say hi to Liv. She is Atmosphere's voice actor. We got the voice actor in the chat. Animal Jam, my favorite art program. True. Are we grounded tomorrow? Yes, we are. Is it museum? Are we museuming? I forgot where we left off. I think we have like a few more things to do in the game. But I don't know. I hope the lint has respawned. Tomorrow, I might kind of like open the game and idle so the lint respawns so we could like, you know, make progress on the museum. Because it is a very long time for the lint to respawn, unfortunately. Is this still the Slime Rancher soundtrack? Oh, it is. It's like, this sounds very classical. I might put on the second game soundtrack because it's about to run out anyways. There we go. Slime Rancher. Mayhaps be the final episode? Nar. Oh, wait. Yeah, I kind of forgot about the bug raids. Okay, maybe I won't idle. Maybe I'll idle, but pay attention. If the mosquitoes start to raid the house, I will just leave and not touch the game. Make Atmosphere Toe Beans canon. There needs to be a petition. I mean, I guess he could. He never, like, lifts up- well, he does lift up his feet. I don't know. Just use your imaginations. I don't know. I'm not animating all that. There are characters with, like, toe beans, I would say. Like Nebula and Cosmo, they've got, like, the full hand pads, basically. I'd say that's more similar to, like, a koala's hand, though. With, like, the full paw pad thing going on. But still toe beans nonetheless. Less. Toe bean. Singular. Fish with toe beans. Well, Atmosphere is like semi-aquatic, so I guess there is that. I don't know. You're just trying to get me to draw feet. I shan't. Yes, oh my gosh. All the voice actors in the project have done such amazing things outside of Atlas. Like, I'm like so adamant on you guys to check out what everybody else has done. Like, go support these guys. They're amazing, incredible. Singular hand bean. Yes. No toe beans, just hand bean. Is he a mammal? I mean, he would be, right? Because he has hair and stuff like that, and mammals have hair. But he's also like, I guess his skin is like scaly. We were having this discussion earlier, whether Atmosphere was like a scalier or furry. And I feel like he borders like on both lines, kind of. Like, I feel like he leans more towards scaly, but also like maybe furry tendencies, I guess. I don't know. What chat, what do we think? Is he a furry or is he a scaly? What is the verdict? You should play Animal Crossing. You're gonna make an Atlas-themed island. You know what I want to do? I want to do an Atlas-themed Tomodachi Life Let's Play because they're coming out with the second game. But I also want to do a Miitopia one. An Atlas Miitopia themed gameplay thing because, oh my god, I've played through that game twice, like in full, with the Atlas characters. I just struggle because I don't know. I don't think there's enough characters to fill up the cast. It's still playable, but like, the way I've been doing it is I've been like putting like the spoiler characters in my game to play it. And I can't do that on stream, obviously. But I'm like, maybe we'll just have a very small cast in here. I don't know. Maybe in my free time I'll play the spoiler version of Miitopia. Yeah, I did see the direct for the new Tomodachi. And that is one of the things I was hoping for the most because I would not have been able to make the Atlas cast without that mass customization thing. Because look, they're literally, they all have like face markings and stuff like that. They're all different colors. And they need like special face effects. I'm so happy that Miitopia was like the blueprint for that. Thank you, Nintendo. I am so happy. And you know, I don't know what else is crazy? The game comes out a day before my birthday. It was so meant to be. I've literally been in every single Nintendo Direct for years, just wishing for Tomodachi. And finally, at long last, they finally announced it. I'm gonna go devour a whole chicken like a snake. Have fun! I will see you tomorrow, Liv. We will not continue this Toby conversation. I am not drawing feet. A dolphin texture. What are dolphin textures? I actually haven't thought about that. I mean, like, his skin is smooth. A lot smoother than human skin, I'd say. But not, like, super scaly or anything. At least in my mind, it hasn't been like that. It's just very smooth for swimming and stuff. When is my birthday? It is April 17th. I'm gonna be old. I'm gonna be turning 23. Save me. I'm getting to that point where I just don't really remember my age anymore. Like, I have to kind of think about it. Like, what? How old am I again? I keep wanting to say like 20 or 21, but no, I'm 22. RIP. Do the characters have confirmed sexualities? For majority of them, it is kind of just left up to interpretation. Like, just like whatever the viewer wants them to be, but there is a few specific like cases where the characters' identities are confirmed, and I wouldn't really like them to be erased because, you know, they are like queer identities, and like kind of headcanoning them otherwise would be a little bit offensive, you know. For example, like right now we already have Equinox, who is non-binary, so that's like set in stone. You cannot change that, you know. But everybody else is like free range, just, you know, headcanon them. Any interpretation. Yes, there are LGBT characters. There are a few that I cannot speak about right now, but we do have Equinox coming up in episode 2, so that is something to be excited for. They are non-binary. They use they/them pronouns. Transfem atmosphere headcanon, yes. My friend was actually bringing that up to me yesterday. Or not yesterday, like this week maybe. That would be a very sweet headcanon to see. How old is each character? They're like all, besides Quasar, confirmed to be like in their 20s and stuff like that. I know Atlas is 24, Atmosphere is 23. I feel bad because I don't remember the rest by heart. Like I think I know, but I don't want to like say, and then I was like, oh wait, no, it's something else. But just, it's not like super duper important, but just know that their ages are within like the 20 range. Besides Quasar, he is thousands of years old. He's very old. He is senior citizen, old man. I forgot his hair stripes. You want to know the exciting thing about the sequence that I'm working on right now? It's in the scene 4, but it's sequence 2. I only have like a few more shots to keyframe, and then I'm done with that whole keyframing stuff. I'm very much looking forward to that. I should be done with that like within the week or so for this sequence, and then all I have to do left is sequence 1, sequence bleh. I'm getting tongue twisted here. Sequence 1's and keyframes, along with finishing up what I already have going with sequence 4. And then scene 4, I can finally work on getting this thing out of my life. Very good scene though. I am very proud of this thing. Like, this is the best thing I've ever animated in my whole career. It is going to be very much worth the pain and torture that it is causing me. Yeah. I'm very excited for everybody to see scene 4. No, I do not have a release date in mind for episode 2. I have been saying, like, it is gonna be this year. There is no way that it's not gonna be this year. But I don't feel comfortable saying a date anymore because it just puts too much pressure on me, and I've been kind of like missing the mark on these things because, you know, life was crazy for me last year. It was very crazy, very bad. It was not great, and it just put like so many dents in my whole life that I just kept missing things. I kind of fell out of touch with what worked and what didn't, and I'm like, even now I'm like kind of struggling with that, but I'm doing a lot better. I am kind of, you know, getting back on track. The whole organization method that I had before is not super efficient now anymore in terms of like setting deadlines for myself. It's just not really working. I'm not meeting the deadlines, and I've got to figure out how to hit deadlines without like pressuring myself too hard, you know? So for now, I'm just kind of like taking it easy. I am making progress. I'm making a lot of progress compared to last year. I'm very happy with my progress this year. Already, it's only been like a month in, but yeah, it's just all a matter of like figuring out, okay, how can I approach this now? Oh my god, yeah, the finale for this production on episode 2. I don't know if I might do like a little marathon for when I'm finishing the animation on episode 2. I don't know, that could be fun, but also I think that I'm gonna be at a spot in the episode where I cannot show anything. So I don't think I could even stream. Maybe there's some shots that I could show that wouldn't show too much. But I don't know, maybe I'll do something for my patrons in that regard, doing the whole speedrun marathon, having them be exclusive that way. I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. It is too soon to get into all that. I feel like Quasar is a villain, but at the same time I'm kind of rooting for him. Yes, I have a very interesting approach to him, and I've been very excited to see like people's reactions to him, because it's like he's like kind of like a morally gray area, you know? You want to root for him, but also you're like not entirely sure. You're like, I don't know. It's just gonna be a very satisfying unraveling of his character, I think, in my humble opinion there. How do I keep my project funded? Well, I do mainly the subscriptions, the monthly pledges to Patreon. That is like my main way of kind of like, you know, securing funding for the show. But I also do merchandise and things like that on the side to kind of help with that. I would like to branch out a little bit going forward. Like this year, I definitely want to start up memberships on my YouTube channel. Like it's like the monthly pledge thing again, but on YouTube, except, you know, I don't know. It'll have like the same-ish rewards from Patreon, but I want to do like production diaries and stuff like that, like little mini vlogs of like me working on the show, so that I can go like in depth of like, you know, my progress and stuff like that. I feel like that would be cool to see. And also just like more exclusive videos of like behind the scenes stuff and, you know, just stuff, I don't know, cool things that people might want to see, but paywalled a little bit in that regard. I am animating on a tablet. It's not a screen tablet, it is a Wacom Intuos Pro. I probably said none of those words correct. I don't know how to pronounce this, but yeah. Wacom Intuos Pro. I think that's what it is. It is not a screen tablet. I'm just kind of looking at my screen, and my hand has gotten so used to like knowing where everything is, I don't really need to look down. There's nothing to look down at anyways, I don't know. I'm using my cursor as like a guide to like know where to draw, basically. I'm not the biggest fan of screen tablets, actually. I don't think I would ever go out of my way to get a screen tablet. It's not like, it's like no offense to the people that do. It is industry standard, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know, I just don't think I'm that comfortable with screen tablets. I do like my iPad though, but like for art stuff, that's about it. Yeah, Candy, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for everybody who's stopping by. I've been having a lot of fun talking to you guys again because it has been so long since I've streamed on YouTube. Like, so long. At least production stream-wise. I had that little No Man's Sky series going on for a minute, but that was still a long time ago. That's, like, kind of approaching the, like, 1-year anniversary, which is very scary to think about. How is time going by so fast? You can't stand Wacom. That is so fair. I've heard so many complaints about Wacom. And, like, I get it. But also, like, this is, like, the only tablet I've ever gotten in my life. I've had, 3 Wacom tablets since 2015. They have lasted me. The only reason that my last Intuos Pro went is because my computer surged and took it with it. Which was kind of like a chaotic event that wasn't really supposed to happen. Like, it would have survived had it not been plugged into the computer. But they are kind of pretty long lasting. I don't know. a screen tablet would worsen your posture more than it is already. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I've tried screen tablets before, in like regards to like on the desk and stuff like that, and I don't think my arm can handle it. It's at too much of an angle. I think I need to be drawing flat on a flat surface for it to be like good for me, because I work for a long period of time usually. Like even now I've been working for like 2 hours. What is it? Basically. Pretty much around that area. Like, I don't know. I need to think about my physical well-being for these things. Sorry, your computer surged. This sounds nightmarish. Yeah, it was it was certainly a time, but it's all good now. You know, the thing is about that situation is that I don't think Atlas would have existed had my computer, my old one, not surged, which is very interesting to think about, because like, God, life can go in so many different directions. If my computer did not die, maybe I would have never made Atlas, because the whole reason that Atlas exists right now is because I got inspired by No Man's Sky, and I couldn't play it on my old computer because it just wasn't strong enough. It didn't have the specs. And then I got a new computer and I was like, oh wait, this can run No Man's Sky. And what do you know, I I bought No Man's Sky, and immediately I was just so inspired that I was like, I want to make a space character now. And lo and behold, here we are. What are the names of my burbs? It is Comet and Lunas. They are two little budgies. Comet is like blue with a little yellow head, and then Lunas is pure white. She has a gray body though, but her head is like completely white. She's so pretty. They're over there chatting away. I used to take them out of my room for streams, but I do have noise cancellation on somewhat. I think it's deafening them a little bit more than if I didn't have it on, hopefully. I don't know if I like these eyes right here. I might redo these. Oh, and also his ear is not here anymore. Most animators in the industry use regular tablets instead of screen displays. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought it was the industry standard was like the screen tablets. Your mom has two green cheek conures. Oh my gosh, I love conures. They're so pretty. Very loud, but very pretty. I know like the noise bothers like a lot of people that aren't used to birds, but I've gotten so used to it. I don't know. I just like music to my ears now. Their little chirping in the back. Okay, wait, I gotta really lock in here with this eye. He's like slightly squinting here. Maybe like this? I think that makes his eye a little too wide though. Figuring things out. Yeah, I think like this actually. What software do I use for writing or screenwriting? I use Google Docs. It is free, and I don't know, it gets the job done. I don't know. I haven't really thought about investing in programs for that, because it's just kind of easy to do it in Docs. But yeah, that is what I use. I have a white pigeon with feathery feet. I love him. He's my baby. Oh my gosh. Pigeons are so cute. I've been kind of considering like if I ever get like bigger space and stuff like that to maybe look into pigeons. I don't know. They are very sweet. Did I draw the eye on this wrong layer? It's fine, I can just copy and paste this, I believe. What kind of questions are okay to ask? Anything really, just, you know, keep it appropriate, keep it friendly, and I will not answer any spoilers. Even if it's worded vaguely to try to get me to slip up, I won't. I won't do it. You gotta wait and see. But yeah, feel free to ask anything. I might not catch every question that goes by, because the chat kind of just moves and I'm focusing on working as well, but I will try my best. Is there any way I can audition for the series, or will there ever be more auditions? There will definitely be more auditions, I believe, if they're not like private castings. So far it's been public castings, like what's the word? Casting calls. It's been casting calls, public casting calls for like literally everything in the series so far. So basically just look out for that, my public casting calls, because there is no characters open right now, so I can't really, you know, do anything about that. But in the future there definitely will be more. There is going to be a lot more characters to be voiceable. So just keep an eye on my socials, mainly the Atlas socials, because that's where I post the casting calls. And yeah. Ooh, wait, I should actually, hold on. Do I have a favorite character in Atlas in the Stars? I get this question all the time, and I can never choose. I don't know. They're all my favorites. I do have favorites to draw, like, Nebula, for example, because of how simple and stuff she is. She's very expressive, very simple. I have fun drawing her. But I have fun drawing everybody, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They are all my babies. I care about them all very much. How did I learn to animate? Any videos that I recommend? It was so long ago. I don't even think I watched like many tutorials though. My way of learning things, because I'm self-taught in a lot of areas of like everything that I do. Basically just press buttons, experiment, see what works, see what doesn't, and eventually you just kind of get the hang of it. Fire Alpaca is a very simple program, which is why I was able to kind of figure things out a little easier. That is not the case for every program though, because I know some of them are like operating a mech, it feels like, basically. But yeah, just like literally play around. If you have questions about certain things that you cannot figure out, just search up a tutorial on how to do that specific thing, and you'll just slowly start to learn the method of how to get what you want done. I did mention this earlier though, I do want to make an animation tutorial because I know it does help a lot of people. And I would like to spread my knowledge because I've only really discussed it briefly in like reels and stuff. But I feel like an in-depth like Fire Alpaca tutorial would be pretty cool to see. What languages would I dub in Atlas if I could? A lot of like the more popular ones, definitely. I know like Spanish for sure and stuff like that. I do want to get into dubbing, like getting official dubs made. It's just I'm not entirely sure how the expenses are looking for that. So it's just a matter of like, you know, money, I guess. And I'll see how that works. I would like to do more dubs though, just to kind of have it be a little more accessible to more people and countries and languages and stuff like that. And I know YouTube has rolled out like a dubbing feature where you can overlay like different audio tracks on the same video. So that is pretty good. I will be looking into that. But yeah, because it is a little expensive, I cannot do like every language right away. I would just kind of be looking into like the most spoken ones, basically. See what I can do there. I know my first choice is gonna be like Spanish, stuff like that. what is the process for hiring voice actors like? So like, I've said that I've pretty much been doing these like hiring processes through casting calls. So there's only been like a few cases where I've actually directly gone out of my way to like approach a voice actor outside of like a public casting and stuff like that. And really my advice there is like, just ask, be very transparent about your budget, your project, what the voice actor can expect to do for your project. Like, for example, like what is the length of your scripts? Like, you know, how many episodes are you planning? Like, what can they expect to do? That you don't want to like blindside your voice actor with that kind of stuff. And if your thing is volunteer work, you need to be very, very, very transparent about that. Not every voice actor is going to be down for volunteer work, and that is okay. You just have to kind of find ones, if you do not have a budget, that will be okay with volunteer work. And do not ever, my advice is to never ever promise pay later without like actually knowing that you're going to have a budget in the future. Do not promise volunteer work now and pay later. It is just not a good thing to do. I would not recommend doing that. That's not a very trustworthy look on your end if people do that, you know? But literally the worst they could say is no. Like, just go for it. How does getting the recordings and sending out the scripts work? That is a good question. So basically, you know, whenever I'm getting ready to record for episodes, I will get the scripts ready and sent out to the voice actors. Personally, I don't do live sessions, which is where you and the voice actor will be in a call together, kind of like doing the lines together. I do self-directed sessions just because I feel it's a lot easier, especially for like remote work. So that's kind of like my method with that. So they're basically doing their lines on their own part. Once they're done with their lines, they send them over to me for review. If I have any issues with lines, I will ask for retakes. And once everything's like all set to go, we'll head into the payment process, and that's it. We're done. It'll be polished up in the audio mix though, so that is something that is not on the voice actor's part to do. The audio mixing and stuff like that. Yes, it is 8 episodes. I have a planned total of 8 episodes for Atlas. This ear is driving me crazy, hold on. Why aren't you drawing correctly, ear? There we go. But yeah, Atlas is just one season. I wouldn't even really call it like a season, I guess, because there's like only one. I'd call it like a limited series. Like, it is a big story, but it doesn't need like all of that extra room to kind of tell the story that I'm trying to tell here. So I think 8 episodes is plenty, especially considering like a 30-minute runtime estimated per each. That's like, I think around 4 hours total of a story, which is just the direction that I want to go with for Atlas. This music is so peaceful. It kind of almost wants to like put me to sleep a little bit. In a good way though. I do like this music. It's just so calming. I need to get back into Slime Rancher eventually. Play the game a little more. I never finished it fully. I just kind of played it a little bit. But it was very fun. I've inspired you to make your own animations with the same tools I use, maybe different video editors, but I use Fire Alpaca and I want to learn how to do animation. I've been watching you. Well, I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, I completely recommend Fire Alpaca for those who are looking for an animation program, especially like a simple one if you're just looking to do simple stuff, because Fire Alpaca is just, it's a very easy interface to learn, especially for beginners and stuff like that. So if you're too intimidated by like programs with big timelines and stuff, maybe just start out with Fire Alpaca. It'll also kind of teach you how to work without a timeline, which isn't really industry standard, obviously, but I don't know, it kind of adds like that, oh, once you master this, you can do anything, I guess. I don't know. You're installing a new roof in your house and it's very noisy. Oh no. I hope the roof turns out okay though. Small price to pay for a new roof. Lots of noise. How are the Borbs doing? Haven't heard them in a while. They are doing good. Let me look at them. They're preening themselves right now. That's why they're pretty quiet. But yeah, Comet did undergo like a little bit of an injury this year at the beginning because his cage mate attacked him, which is like, it just wasn't really something that I saw coming, unfortunately, because they are a bonded pair. And I still, like, to this day I'm like confused because Lunis, which is the other one, she took the separation that I put them through because, you know, I had to separate them after that. She took it very hard. She's doing better now. They're both doing better. They are together, but like they have their own spaces now. The only way that they can be together is under like moderation. So I just kind of have to watch them with that. But Comet, his injury was like, it healed up so fast, but it was very scary in the moment because I've never like dealt with anything like that. But I did have like the first aid stuff on hand, which was very, very good to have because I was able to like immediately get to work on like stopping the blood and stuff like that. But he's doing much better. He was on medication for a while. His wound is like literally not even visible anymore. It wasn't infected. It didn't get infected. His feathers all grew back. He's looking pretty sharp. I wish Clip Studio had the little animation preview player thing that Fire Alpaca has. Yeah. Honestly, that's another thing. A lot of animation programs don't really have that live feedback thing playing while you animate, which you guys can't see it right now, but it is on my screen where it's like giving me literally, I can see the animation playing right now while I work and animate this like right now. It's like, I don't know, it's just very handy to have to watch it in real time as you're bringing it to life. That is something that I very much enjoy about Fire Alpaca, and I didn't really start doing that until like episode 1, like at the beginning. I think there was like a period of time where I didn't do it, but that's kind of what taught me to kind of have the preview playing at all times. It's just been making it a lot easier. You'll be off for now. Thank you for the tips and have a good day, everyone. Well, yes, thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate it very much. It's been fun chatting with everybody here. Do you have any advice for someone like me who is new to animation and art in general? Literally just like keep experimenting. Don't let anything stop you. Like don't let yourself hold yourself back, you know what I mean? If you're feeling like too intimidated by a program or something, literally just keep experimenting with it. Keep pressing buttons. If there's something specific that you need to figure out but you cannot on your own, then Google a tutorial for that specific thing. Like half of the time programs look very intimidating, but just know that you do not need to learn every single intricate detail of the program. You just need to learn what works for you, like what buttons and things like you need to get your work done, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to be using every single button in that program for your work. It's just usually not something that happens, you know? I literally don't know like half of After Effects, it is the unknown to me, but I don't need to learn it because it's not something that I actively use for my compositing and stuff like that. So, you know, I just learn what I can, figure out what works for my stuff, and use that. Which character was first created? In terms of Atlas and the stars, it was Atlas. She was the first character to be made in the cast. I did speak about this a little briefly in my recent speed paint video on my channel. I go a little in depth there, but she was made alongside like another character named Compass, who was like a robot character. He is scrapped. He is no longer in the story. He's not relevant. He is replaced by Atmosphere, but that's kind of how it all started, was Atlas and Compass back in the days. Atmosphere was the next character to come in though. Then it was like Equinox, Quasar, Nebula, and Cosmo. Cough attack, oh no. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Hold on, chat. Okay. Do you post your animations episodes right after you're finished? How long do you wait if not? That is a good question. Let me think. Usually, if it doesn't require a lot of things after the animation is done, it's like probably like a week or so in advance. I'll start, you know, beginning to market it. I don't like to drop it like the night after I finish it because I do need to watch most of the time for like errors and stuff like that. I just don't have enough time to catch all those errors if I'm releasing it immediately after it is done. For episode 2, I do need to hand it off to somebody else for like the audio and stuff, so I don't know if there's gonna be like a huge delay there, but because I was doing all the audio stuff last time in the first episode, that was kind of all on me. I think like I finished it. I'm trying to remember, what was the timeline for that? It was like a month or like maybe 3 weeks that I finished the animation, and then I did like everything else, and then I posted it. So there was like a gap. It wasn't immediately posted after it was done. But it just depends, you know? This new animation that I'm working on right now, the Jam one, I will be posting that like immediately after it's done. Pretty much. I'll be releasing it on like a Friday though, because that's my schedule. I gotta stick to that. So whenever it's done, it might be before a Friday, so I'll have to wait in that case whenever the next Friday may be. But because it's like, it's just me using an audio from a movie and I'm just animating over it, it doesn't really need a super amount of work, you know? So that's okay. I'll just be posting that pretty soon after. And it's also short, so I don't really see myself checking for errors longer than like maybe an hour at most. New Jam? Yes, I am working on an animation test right now with Jam and Sir Meow Meow. It's nothing like super duper fancy and voice acted. I'm literally, you know, just using audio from a movie that I thought fit them, because like the whole purpose of that animation that I'm doing right now with Jam is to like not only like kind of softly introduce my audience to my other project, which is Jam, but I just want to kind of experiment with what a potential pilot could look like. I'm trying to figure those things out, and with Jam's case, you know, I gotta learn 3D. I've gotta figure out how to do 3D backgrounds in a 2D animated medium, you know. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like, it is very fun. I like learning. Like, you know, just how to do those things. I think it's very beneficial, and it's going to be very nice in the long run because I do not I do not desire to draw city backgrounds over and over again by hand. I think just having that in 3D would be a lot more time saving, you know. And also because it's like a superhero show, there's obviously gonna be like a lot of fight scenes, a lot of action, a lot of dynamic shots. I think a 3D background and camera would benefit like all of that like heavily. It'd be a lot easier to work with. How have you been dealing with doing the animation yourself, emotionally and physically? I can only imagine the wrist pain, but I hope you're taking care of yourself, and I love the show. It is pretty taxing. Like, I will not hide that. It is very tedious, very taxing, but I would not have it any other way, honestly. I don't know, I'm having fun, I'm, you know, I'm comfortable, I'm content. And in terms of, like, wrist pain, I feel like I've learned a way to draw where I don't run the risk of like carpal tunnel and stuff like that, because I draw with my arm, like my entire arm. When I make these lines, I am moving my arm. My wrist is not moving. So, you know, like if I were to draw with my wrist solely, it would hurt. It would start straining my wrist, and just, you know, drawing with my arm kind of like saves me from that. And doing stretches, you know, taking care of stuff like that, because obviously I am spending a lot of time like just drawing with my arm, so my arm has to be stretched and stuff like that. Just make sure you're staying on top of that. Even pencil grip and stuff like that. Like, I have a huge pencil grip on my tablet pen. I'm not joking when I say this thing is humongous. It is a huge grip, because the bigger the grip, the less like strain it puts on your hand. Like, if you're holding a pencil, you need to, like, you know, put more hand on the pencil. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but it makes sense. It is proven. It's a proven fact that the wider the grip, the less the pain. So I have a very wide pencil. I draw with my arm. I stretch. I take care of myself. I'm not, like, you know, overexerting myself. I'm being careful about stuff like that. If I make GM part of the paid YouTube membership, you will give you all my money. No, I don't see myself ever like fully paywalling my shows. I just like to have them accessible like that. But for like terms of like paywalled stuff, I do want to like branch out into like more behind the scenes stuff for people that want to see that stuff. So, you know, I know that's not like everybody's like interest to go behind the scenes like that. They kind of just want to see the show and leave, but for the people that do, I think it'd be a nice thing to have to offer people who, you know, want to support the show further, and just have that be a part of like the YouTube memberships and stuff like that, or like production diaries and just behind the scenes videos and whatever else I feel like putting on there. I guess I don't know yet. I do have plans, though. That is something I want to branch out more towards in the future. Alright, hold on. I might skip forward a little bit here to do this last part of the frame just so I know how his movement ends. Like right here. He's like kind of shocked. Maybe I'll scrunch his face a little bit like that to emphasize the and just give him like the most shocked expression ever. And like fully black pupils, I think that like adds to it. And like slightly like kind of like distant eyes like that, yeah. I'll just definitely invest in a pencil grip. Thank you for answering. Yes, absolutely. Like I got mine in like a pack from Amazon. They're like these huge foam grips. Like literally the bigger the better. And they're not gonna like fit on your pencil without you like cutting into them. I literally like cut down like the middle here. I can't really show it, but like I cut down like a straight line through the pencil grip just so I can like slip my pencil in there. And still have access to the buttons on the pencil too, you know? So don't worry, if it doesn't fit, you could always just cut it and make it fit. You could always DIY your own pencil grip, maybe get like a bunch of aluminum foil and scrunch it up until you sculpt something that resembles a pencil grip. You just really want to make sure that you have a big grip and are drawing with your arm. And stretching, of course. Making sure that you're not just like, you know, leaving your arm stationary and stuff like that, because it will get sore and possibly lead to problems there, you know. In your opinion, what is the best way to introduce your projects before the pilot is made and aired? So that is a good question because I'm literally in the process of introducing another project of mine besides Atlas, which is Jam, and you know, I'm doing that whole animation test to kind of softly begin to introduce my audience to that world, a potential look of what a pilot could look like and like the characters and stuff like that, just to kind of slowly start to get people invested. I have been posting like, you know, artwork and things that aren't really like full animations to like start to get people familiar with the characters and stuff like that. I do have a little bit of an advantage with Jam because it was a series that I was well known for in the past when it was made. That was like the thing that I was most like, you know, recognized for back in the days. But then it kind of switched over to Atlas because I stopped working at Jam after the computer surge, and I just wasn't really feeling it at the time anymore. But now that I've gained a lot more writing experience and stuff like that, I've been able to approach the project with a, like, whole new perspective, which has benefited me greatly in that, like, regard, you know? So I've been really enjoying coming back to it after all that time, and I think the break was very much well needed to create what it is going to be now. But yeah, there was an advantage there, but, you know, I have a huge audience now, so not all of them even know what Jam was anymore, so, I still do need to reintroduce Jam to, like, my new audience and stuff like that, while also, like, kind of pulling back in the original audience that was there for Jam, while also simultaneously, like, getting a new audience for it as well. But yeah, just like literally just draw the characters, talk about the characters and the world, like before a pilot is even considered. I did the same with Atlas. I was just drawing the characters. I didn't even know what it was gonna be at that point until like I got further into the whole like writing and stuff. I was like, maybe I should make this a, you know, a whole show. When I was first drawing them, I was just drawing like the scenes in my head that I had at the time that I like, you know. There was like usually no context given to the pieces that I was drawing, which is like fine, but sometimes you do want to kind of indulge your audience, don't want to leave them super in the dark about things, and I did explain some things, but I don't know, there's just stuff like that. Just talk about your characters, yap about your characters, get it out there, start putting it in people's heads. Don't like literally don't even care about how annoying you may be about it. I say annoying, like, it's not annoying, but, like, I know, like, sometimes you have that fear in the back of your head. You're like, God, I'm talking about this so much. I feel like all my followers are gonna get mad at me, you know? But literally don't even worry about that because that's how marketing works. You need to drill it into people's heads. Like, hey, here's my characters, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. After Atlas and Jam, is there any other project that I would be interested in doing? Yeah, I mean, I do have one. I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna be like the thing that I move towards next. It's actually a short film that I want to do, which is like a lot easier than a whole show, which might be nice to kind of experiment with how that could go, branching out into short films instead of shows. But I don't know, I do have ideas in my head. I feel like I kind of want to try a sitcom, but animated? In the far distant future, I don't know. Something like similar to like Friends and stuff like that, I guess, or The Office. Like one of those kind of shows. I feel like that could be a little fun to work with. But I don't have any plans for that right now. My main focus right now is just Atlas and Jam. Once I'm done with those two, I can worry about that in the future. I will probably have more ideas by then. Right now, I'm just kind of putting my full focus into these two projects right now. Look at his dumb little face. He's so silly. Have I played Operation? I feel like I've played that. I definitely played that before when I was like very, very little. I have not touched board games for a very long time though. I don't know, it's just that stuff that I've been doing. Was fun back in the days, all those little board games. I know the one I remember the most, it wasn't like a board game or anything, but it was like this elephant toy that would have like this long trunk that would shoot out butterflies and you'd have to catch them with a net. That was my favorite thing ever in the world. I loved that thing. But it was like such a pain to get set up that like it just kind of like phased out a little bit because, you know, it was just difficult. Also kind of messy. Butterflies everywhere. I have a show concept. Now I want to be a webcomic, so every shot is just one drawing instead of many. Yes, like, even like, I don't know, it's just kind of cool to see what mediums you could do to pull off your story. It could literally be anything. It could be animation, it could be webcomics, it could be just a series of stories told through a bunch of art pieces. You know, it could be writing, it could be different mediums, just anything. It could be music, it could be literally like a whole story told through music. There's just so much that you can do. So art is so versatile. It's very nice to see. I can't lie, sometimes Atmosphere's hair drives me crazy, but his hair is my favorite thing about him. It is so large. It's already been 2 hours, time moves fast. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I am kind of starting to probably reach my stopping point. I'll try to finish up this little shot right here before I head out. But I definitely want to get back into streaming, at least on YouTube, with like production streams a lot more. Just because, I don't know, it's just nice to not only show you guys my process, and, you know, answer questions while I'm at it. I don't know, it's just been fun. So I would say definitely keep an eye out for that. Even outside of Atlas, once I start getting into Jam stuff, I'll probably do production streams for that. I do, surprisingly, stream like every single week though. It's just been on my Twitch, so if you guys are interested in stuff like that, if you guys want to see me just play games, usually with Liv, who is Atmosphere's voice actor, she was in the chat earlier. We literally stream together every Saturday. And we've been doing that for like an entire year at this point. So if you want something to watch on Saturdays, you can find me over on my Twitch. It is Mirandamations. I just have fun over there. Chill. I don't do a lot of production streams over there, but I have done like a few. But production streams will probably be here from now on. I do like Taco Bell. Taco Bell is tasty. I haven't had it in a minute though. I usually just get like a bunch of crunchy tacos and devour them. I like the hard shell tacos the most. Also, their nacho fries are really good. When are the characters' birthdays? That is a great question. I also do not know this by heart for most of them, unfortunately. I feel bad. But also I do know that their birthdays in like canonical series way is like the birthdays that it's just their creation dates. So I know off the top of my head Atlas was created December 5th. So like canonically I made her birthday also December 5th. So, Atmosphere, he was made, oh god, when was he made? I think it was, March 31st? I think he was made March 31st, so that is his birthday. He's a March baby. Quasar, I feel like his is, like, kind of complicated, because when I made Quasar, he was, like, kind of a completely different character. So I'm like counting the redesign of him that's like the most alike to his current version of his design, which was like August, I believe, if I remember correctly. And then Nebula and Cosmo are like June or July, around that time. Ooh, I do not like his hair right here. Hold on, let me redo this whole thing. I do not like this. You know, I've never had Baja Blast. I've heard of it a lot. I've just never tried it. I don't know what it tastes like. Or if I would even like it. Okay, that is decent hair shape. That is more on model, I would say. There we go. What is the most difficult thing for me to animate? Ooh, I guess like complex action sequences, because you know, like obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. Anything that's like full body to like with like a lot of movement is pretty difficult. Yeah, so I would just say like complex perspectives and actions. Just like even like dance moves, I would say that's like a complex thing to do. Especially because you gotta kind of choreograph it a little bit. You gotta record reference and stuff like that to base it off, so just stuff like that, in my humble opinion. I have the easiest time animating like bust shots like this right here, for example. There's not a lot going on. It's just kind of his upper body. He doesn't really have his hands here. All I have to focus on is just his head movements, basically, which is pretty easy. Atlas has her hand here, but even that's like very simple. You're not seeing like the whole body's reaction to this movement right here. You're just seeing the arm. And I guess you could kind of think about it like in a 3D sense, because when you look at 3D animations, half the time, like you'll see what you can see from the camera, But then you look outside of the camera and like they're not even animating like the characters' bodies if it was a shot like this. Like they're not. That's too much extra time. So they'll just be like very stiff and like only what you can see is moving. And it kind of looks jarring sometimes when you look at it, but it's like it's smart, you know? But yeah, when you're animating the entire body, like you literally have to focus on everything. So that is definitely a complex thing to do. Especially when the character has like not only like a bunch of limbs but like tail and stuff as well. Like look at Atmosphere's tail. Look at this thing, it's huge. I'd have to worry about that. Not to say full body can't be done, I just like that's one of the more complex things that I find. That I kind of, you know, I'm like, ooh. This is complex. I don't really feel like working on this right now. How many scenes have I finished in my episode, and how many scenes do I have left? So there is 6 scenes in total. There was also 6 scenes in episode 1. I have fully finished and rendered and like animated 3 of the scenes. There are a few sequences in the last 3 that I have fully completed as well, but because the scene is like a lot bigger, I'm not counting the scene as done because there's still more to do, but there is parts of the scenes, like, or sequences in the scenes that I have left to do that are finished and I don't have to worry about. So there is that. I would say, basically, I only have like 2 scenes left to do. I am working on scene 4, which will hopefully be done soon. And the other 2 are gonna be a breeze, like complete breeze compared to what I have to work with scene 4 because it's just so complex. So I'm just gonna say that I have 2 scenes left to do. Which is like around, let me see. It's been a while since I've like updated my timing here, but the last time I checked I have 15 minutes left to do. And I already have 21 minutes animated, probably a little more than that now, because I haven't really recounted it. I might call it quits here, because I do have to use the bathroom and I'm starting to get a little hungry. But I think I got enough progress done today. I've answered a lot of questions. I've, you know, a great gateway back into streaming on here, I'd say. I had a lot of fun chatting with everybody. I'm gonna save this just so I don't lose it. Probably a good idea. I have not saved this since I started. Let me save Atlas's real quick. And there we go. Alright, chat, thank you so much for stopping by. I will hopefully see you guys in more streams, and, you know, like I said earlier, I do stream on Twitch every single Saturday. Go catch me over there with Liv tomorrow. I will be back with more Grounded, which is a video game that we're playing together. And yeah, thank you for stopping by.